Hello, Frugalistas and Dumpsterinos. Today we are baking thumbprint cookies again. I made some yesterday and they turned out so amazingly good that I thought I've got to make these again. One, to show the Frugalistas and Dumpsterinos, and two, because we might have finished all that I made last night. And by we, I mean I. I may have finished all the cookies that I made last night because they were so good. So good. So good. Did I mention they were so good? There was something about the texture of the cookie part, you know, not the filling part, which also had a lovely texture. It was homemade lemon curd that I had in a jar in the fridge, which I still have. We're going to use more of. And if I run out of that, I'm going to use a little bit of what's left of this, store-bought blueberry jam. So lemon curd, yes, absolutely amazing. You stay back. You stay back. Do not, you just stay. Don't even try to come over here. Stay back. Just sit over there. Stay back. No cats in the cookie batter. Not in front of the Dumpsterinos anyway. There's something so good about the texture of the cookie part. It was like kind of chewy, but a little bit crispy at the same time, like the crispy outer coating, but still kind of chewy in the inside. And it's just amazing. And I think it's because of the egg yolks, because we use egg yolks. So let's get going with this recipe. The oven is heated to 350, of course. These bake for, I'm going to say 12 to 14 minutes. You have to be the judge of that with your own cookies. And I'll leave a link to my video on, I forget, what did I make? Lemon curd or lime curd? I've made both, but I can't remember which I did in the video. But whichever it was, it's basically the same process for lemon or lime. Go ahead and make that if you have lots and lots of eggs. Well, of course I had a lot of dumpster eggs. Eggs are so expensive now. This isn't really a frugal dish unless you're using a lot of dumpster ingredients. All right, so we started with 1 cup of softened butter. I'm actually using ghee because I have a lot of ghee that I made and I had some handy, so that is what I'm using. We're going to add to that a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Good enough. 2/3 of a cup of sugar. Some people roll their little dough balls in sugar before they put them on the cookie tray and do the thumbprint in them. But I don't do that. I don't like a cookie that's just coated in granulated sugar. I just don't want, I don't want that to be what hits my tongue when I eat a cookie. I don't want just, but I guess some people like that. Alrighty. He smells so good, I have to say. All right. 4 egg yolks. Stir it together. Now, I'm gonna do it just how I did it yesterday because it was so amazing. Normally you would probably use vanilla extract, but I am using vanilla paste because I had it in the refrigerator. I don't really even know where I got this. It must have been a gift because it seems kind of fancy. It doesn't seem like something I would go out and buy. It is, it's interesting. It pours. It's thick. Look at that. Oh, that's a lot. Well, anyway, the more the merrier on the vanilla paste, which I believe has sugar in it because it gets really sticky. When you sometimes try to get the bottle open, you have to run it under hot water. What does it say? Oh yeah, the number 1 ingredient is sugar. Well, there you go. Pure bourbon vanilla extract. Okay. Wait, let me get this out of the way. All right, Stir that in. Yesterday I only made a half batch. Today I'm making a full batch. And I was thinking last night as I lay in bed dreaming of more Thumbprint cookies, I was thinking these would be so good, I think, using the lime curd and then maybe sprinkling some coconut on top, because you know that lime coconut combo, so yum. Yes. And in fact, I went looking this morning for some of my canned up lime curd, and I could not readily find it. So I need to take a look at my canned goods and just make sure I know what's what and where it is. Then we're going to add the flour. 2 1/3 cups of flour. 1. 2 1/3. Need to get more white flour. I've been baking a ton of bread. Well, really since March, I've been baking sourdough bread constantly, and I use whole wheat flour for that. So I have a lot of whole wheat flour. I'm trying to see behind me on the stove. Here and here, I have whole wheat sourdough bread rising in these pans. Yes, I do bake in this Dutch oven thing I've got back there. And I've started with my sourdough bread. I've started putting in like literally whole grains, not ground up whole grains, but actual whole, wheat berries and spelt. Have I used spelt? I've used kamut. So I have purchased some of the ancient grains to give them a try, see what's going on with them. And I was grinding them up in my little coffee grinder, which worked pretty well. And I didn't really grind them up into a powder like a fine flour. I really like texture in my homemade bread. I don't want it to be all soft and fluffy like Wonder Bread. I don't. I like it. No! Get back, get back, get back, get back, 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 back. No crossing the Rubicon. No. Stay back. Yeah, I want my homemade bread to be really like dense and grainy and like something you would get in a medieval pub. No! Oh, you're a bad cat. Stop, you wee beastie. Stay back. What am I saying? I want my bread to be something that I imagine you would get, in like a medieval pub, if such a thing existed. Like really grainy and coarse, but delicious, like real bread. So anyway, and now lately I haven't even ground up the whole grains, the whole wheat berries or the oat groats that I put in. I've just like tossed them in. And they just add this great crunch. I mean, I just like them. I just like a lot of texture in my bread. I'm sorry, that's just me. I like a lot of texture. So anyway, that's sourdough bread rising behind me. Anyway, we just mix all this together to make our little dough. Pretty easy. It's like a little bit like a shortbread dough, except for all the egg yolks. So get it all together, and then we're just going to roll out little balls, put them on our cookie tray, jam our little thumb in there to make the divot, and then we're going to fill it up with the lemon curd. Or whatever jam you have that you want to use. I was actually thinking it could be really cool to add cinnamon directly to this dough, and then for the jam part, put in like a little bit of pumpkin pie filling. And I feel like that would be really yummy as a Thanksgiving cookie, like a little pumpkin pie cookie. All right, that is just a lovely dough. And I'm sure this would refrigerate just fine if one didn't want to bake the whole batch up in one day. All right. Here's our cookie sheet lined with foil. So we're just going to roll out our little blobs and then you make a little hole in the center with your thumb, or you could use a spoon perhaps if you didn't want to jam your thumb in. I don't know why you wouldn't want to jam your thumb in, but
cameo.
Special guest star. Did you try any of those cookies I made yesterday? You didn't get any?
I didn't get any. What were they?
Thumbprint cookies with lemon curd. Homemade lemon curd. I'm making more right now.
Okay.
They're
I'm
good.
looking forward to it.
Yeah. You seem really
Perplexed because I'm putting it all together that I didn't even see them, much less touch one.
Of course, you don't have to make your lemon curd from scratch. You don't have to. You can buy it. It's not the easiest thing to make, but it's not the hardest thing to make either. It takes a while. And these don't really spread, I found. So you can put them pretty close together on the cookie tray. I mean, they really didn't spread at all, I don't think. Definitely not into each other. Also, you can't really see it, but back here is zucchini bread I made the other day. I made 2 loaves, one with chocolate chips and one without, both with walnuts. And they came out surprisingly delish. So I feel like I need to do some zucchini bread with you soon also, because we've found so much zucchini lately. And I was following the recipe in my Fanny Farmer cookbook, and what I found was when I made it the way I was told to make it, cat's back, like it was really dry. It didn't all come together like a batter. And I was like, what is going on here? And it could be because I was using whole wheat flour instead of white flour with that. So I just added more liquid, and I was using almond milk instead of regular milk. And so anyway, I just added liquid until it kind of poured like a normal batter. And it came out great. So we'll have to do that again soon. All right. Hold on. We'll tip you downward. All right. Hold on. Hold on. All right, here we go with making the thumbprints. A little melon baller would be great for making a very uniform, round divot. Now put a little lemon curd in each little hole. I just had this jar of lemon curd in the fridge since the last time I made and canned lemon curd because, you know, I just had some left over that wasn't enough to fill a jar. And so it's been in the fridge, I don't know, for a while. Maybe 6 to 8 weeks now. And it's totally fine. I don't know why it wouldn't be fine, considering how much sugar's in it. But it's fine. I did test it before I baked with it yesterday. Well, we definitely have enough for this batch. I didn't eat the entire half batch yesterday by myself. The kids did help me, and I did set some aside so I could put them in their lunch boxes today to go to school, because I kind of knew what direction I was going in. I could kind of sense it after I ate like the first 3. I sensed there would be no stopping me, so I set some cookies aside at that point to put in their lunch boxes to make sure they had at least that treat. Just a little lemon curd per cookie, but it packs a nice lemony punch. All right, so these are going in the oven for 12 to 14 minutes. We set it for 13 minutes. I have some peach, I wouldn't quite call it jam, that I cooked and canned up. A peach spread, perhaps, a peach sauce. I don't really know how thick it came out, but it's really sour because I put in citric acid, maybe a little bit too much. And that would probably be a good filling. I mean, I wouldn't say it's more sour than the lemon, just more sour than you'd expect from peach. That would probably be pretty good. Oh, my coffee's ready. Hold on. Meow, 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 meow. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. There are our amazing lemon curd thumbprint cookies. So we'll let them cool for a few moments. And then we will bake up the second batch, littler, little dough balls. Some people, oh, one just slid right around. Oh, that's good. Oh, they're going to come off nice and easily. Some people might want to do like a dusting of confectioner's sugar on top, the way you might with lemon squares. But again, I don't think they need extra sugar. But if you want to do that to look fancy, go ahead. It's like something my mother would do. My mother is a dusting of confectioner's sugar kind of gal. I'm skip that step kind of gal, because I just, to each her own. Let's just let those cool for a moment. And what did we do with our coffee? One thing I will say with the, here I'll show you. It's just a blob of dough rising in its little crockery here. The sourdough, at least the way I make it, is you are not going to jump on these cookies. Come here, you. The way I make the sourdough, it takes a long time to rise. That's what I've learned. It's not like when you use your quick rise yeast and you're getting that loaf of bread into the oven, after an hour. Like it takes, I don't know if it's just my sourdough starter is weak. I don't know. I feed it. I take care of it. I talk to it. We spend time together every day. But it just takes a long time for the dough to rise. And that is what I've learned with my sourdough, is don't rush it. Just, even if it takes all day, let it rise. Just let it rise. Because it's not that great when it doesn't rise. And I'll tell you this also, while we're on the topic. My father told me that his mother made bread dough every night, and then it would rise overnight, and she'd bake it in the morning. And I remember thinking, wow, rise overnight. Like, that seems like a lot of rising time. But it makes sense. You're asleep, whatever. You bake fresh bread in the morning. But now I'm thinking, well, probably back in, 1920, maybe she didn't have quick rise yeast from the store, and she was making sourdough bread with her own homemade starter, the way I do. And yes, rising overnight works really, really well. Because you get up in the morning and it's all poofed up, ready to go. You pop in the oven. It's so good. It is just so good. Fresh, homemade bread. I can't emphasize enough how delicious homemade bread is. When I make it my way, for me. So here we go with the second batch, our little pinky print cookies. This goes with my theory of how to market an old product that you haven't really changed. Okay, stop playing with that. Stop, that's not a toy. Get away from, oh my God. Tasha's playing with the bottom of the tripod. So, my theory, my marketing theory. Oh, Pasha! Stop! My marketing theory. Like with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Make them really big or make them really tiny. It's how to breathe life into an old product. Oreo cookies? Same old, nothing new? Well, they do new things with Oreos all the time because they come up with all sorts of crazy flavors. But make them really tiny. I mean, tiny little Oreos. How fun. Or make them huge. A huge, huge Oreo. That's my marketing theory. Marketing 101 with Frugal Mommy. So anyway, that's why I thought, oh, I'll make these really, really tiny. Though, what I consider tiny might just be kind of a normal size cookie. We all know my concept of what a normal portion is a little bit maybe not what everybody else thinks. I know that from the ice cream survey we did the other day. All right, I thought this would be one more tray's worth, but now we're gonna poke the divot with the index finger. And if the edges crack, I mean, this dough is pretty moist. So I'm not saying the edges are cracking because it's not moist enough, but just because they are. And who cares? Because what difference does it make? Oh, they're so cute, little. This will be great. These little ones will be great in the kids' lunches because then they'll feel like, oh my gosh, like Mom gave us 4 cookies. Which might add up to maybe, I don't know. I would say 3 of these would be like one of the big cookies. Maybe 2. I don't know. But back to the lemon curd, what little bit we have left in the jar. I think strawberry jam and raspberry jam would also be lovely in this. You know when you buy raspberry jam these days? It's been this way for a while now. It's seedless. And they put it right there on the front of the jar. Seedless! Like, it's such a big, exciting thing. Like, people complained about having seeds in their raspberry jam. I glooped it. I personally want the seeds in my raspberry jam because, again, I like the texture. And I can see if you have dentures, maybe. I don't know if the seeds get, like, stuck in your teeth or something. Otherwise, why wouldn't you want the seeds? What are your feelings about seedless versus full seed raspberry or blackberry jam for that matter? I like the seeds. And it makes it just seem more kind of like natural, like a closer to nature product when it has the seeds. Like more homemade. Sticky, sticky, sticky. All right, now we're busting open the bottom of our Polaner all fruit blueberry spreadable fruit. I was gonna say, is it jam? Is it jelly? It just says spreadable fruit. I missed the divot on this one. Now we'll see as these cook if the blueberry jam, which I imagine has a higher water content than the lemon curd, if that will, I don't know, kind of, you know, like bubble up sort of and make a bigger mess in the spread. Because the lemon curd stayed in its spot. It didn't overflow its banks. So, I don't know, we'll see. But there you go. There's round 2. Aren't they pretty? They are pretty. You might not be able to tell how pretty they are, but in real life, these are pretty. All right, let's pop them in the oven. And we'll set the timer. Well, I guess we're going for 13 minutes again. That's what it went to. And then we'll just check them along the way. Look at these. I'd sample one for you right now, but we know I can't really be trusted with them. If I had one, I could easily just plow my way through the whole plate. They're just so yummy. I know people also like to do these kind of cookies and just jam like a whole Hershey's Kiss on top. And I'm not saying I'm opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. I've done that. It's not my favorite thing because I just like a whole Hershey's Kiss. It's just like a lot of chocolate to bite into when you're eating a cookie. I myself, my preferred method of eating Hershey Kisses is just to suck on them slowly. You know, the slow melting in the mouth of the chocolate. I find that preferable. All right, I'm gonna wash off sticky hands now. All right. Okay, well the blueberry jam did not bubble over, so that was a worry that we didn't have to contend with. They look good. They smell good. They're a pale cookie, but a delicious cookie. So we'll let those cool off too, finish baking, and then if Frugal Daddy ever shows up again from wherever he went, we'll get him to do a taste test. Though I will say, Frugal Daddy's more of a, he calls himself a purist, which really means he's just a very picky eater like a toddler. And he likes something very basic like a sugar cookie coated in sugar. So we'll see what he thinks of these. But I'm going to tell you that they're amazing. Because I know. Because I ate the majority of a half a batch of them yesterday. Here are the littler cookies. Here are the bigger cookies. Which would you like to try, Frugal Daddy? We have lemon curd filled cookies, and then with the smaller ones, we have blueberry jam and lemon. If you do smaller, then you can have one of each. You can have a blueberry jam one and a lemon one. Yes, that's a good idea. What's happening here? What's this little...
I need a haircut. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a corkscrew.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's
yeah.
also like a gaff for gaffing fish.
All right, Frugal Daddy. You're the taste tester. Oh, you're starting with a blueberry jam. Ah, also going for the lemon. Interesting. Crumbs all over the floor I just cleaned. She gasps in horror. The whole taste test gone horribly wrong.
Wow.
Is it amazing?
That is.
There's something about the cookie, isn't there? It's chewy, yet crispy, yet flaky, all at the same time, isn't it?
What did you do?
Egg yolks. I think egg yolks are the key. From now on with all my cookie baking, I think I'm going to just do egg yolks instead of whole eggs.
This is amazing.
Alrighty, and now for the blueberry jam.
I'm going to learn from the first one.
Ah, no crumbs this time. Smaller cookie, single bite. I think we have a hit.
I wanted to try just the cookie.
That's what I did last night when I was sampling. First, I took just a bite of the cookie without any of the lemon filling because I wanted to assess it just purely in and of itself.
Amazing.
And then I did it with the lemon and found it a delight both ways. Yeah, well, there you go. Frugal Daddy says yes to the Thumbprint cookies. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I will try to remember to put the recipe in the description box down below. If it's not there, then I forgot. You really, really, really all need to try this recipe.
You do.
You do. You really, really do.
2 thumbprints up. Oh my God, that's amazing.
I'm glad you like them.